Jurgens, Junkie, Coyotes win it! South Dakota is back-to-back 7-league tournament champions, and the Coyotes are headed back to the NCAA tournament.
Welcome into the Coyote Volleyball Show. The Coyote Volleyball team back from a road trip where they went 2-0 going to Denver and Omaha. We're joined by the head coach of the Coyotes, Leanne Williamson. Coach, a successful trip. Anytime you can go on the road and get wins, I know you always feel good, but this trip in particular, a very difficult road trip, and your team found a way.
Yeah, it absolutely is a difficult road trip, and two tough teams to play, obviously back-to-back as well. So we knew that this was a big weekend for us. Our team did a really good job of continuing to stay in the present and really focusing, obviously, just on Denver while we were out there. And being down 0-2 is tough, although we've done that quite a bit with Denver the last couple of years. So even after that second set, we knew we had to make some changes, but I don't think we ever felt like we were out of it because, again, we've seen ourselves in that situation before. But yeah, and then going to Omaha and another tough place to play, and they had a good crowd there. And obviously, anytime you play two good teams on the road, it's going to be a battle. And I was very happy with the way our team responded and the way that they came out to play in both matches.
You know, on Thursday, you talked about getting down 2-0, and that can be difficult for any team, but especially when you're facing a match that felt like it was largely controlled at the time by Denver. How do you get the team refocused and to be able to turn things around the way they did and get that reverse sweep?
I really think that they were ready to make the changes, and I think they were frustrated that they had a harder time doing that on their own or even after that first set. But that second set break can be just a great opportunity for us to kind of reset, take a deep breath, and really talk about some of those changes that need to happen. But I think really what kind of set us up for success is the way we started in set three. We started really strong and got out to a little bit of a lead there right away, and I think it just kind of took a little bit of a weight off of our players' backs of like, okay, we can do this. This is definitely within our capability. And even that third set, we didn't necessarily have the numbers that we would have liked to statistically, but we found a way to win. And the serve and pass battle kind of flipped a little bit for us into our favor, which was not the case in sets 1 and 2. And I think just with that, winning that game helped them, again, feel a little bit more comfortable going into sets 4 and 5. But we're so confident when we get to fifth sets that, I think our team was really ready, and that was actually the most efficient we hit all match, and there's just another level to them.
Madison Harms seems like she has continued to find a groove the last couple of weeks, and in this game, instead of talking about kills, we'll talk blocks. She had a career-high 13 blocks. How important is that part of the game, just disrupting the opposing offense?
I mean, it's huge, and I think what, obviously people see the number of 13 blocks, and that is a very, very high number, and she did a great job of, I think, doing her job at a high level, but what people don't always see is the blocks that happen that aren't necessarily statistically blocks, the touches that stay on their side that make them take an additional swing, maybe the touches that she gets on her block and it stays on our side, but it's more of a controlled touch rather than a hard-driven ball. Like those things don't go unnoticed to us. So even though she had the 13 blocks, that's what people see. There was so much more to that in both matches. But it was fun to see her do that, and she came up with some big blocks in big moments too.
What ignites a team more? Is it a big kill or is it one of those blocks? I mean, it just feels like the blocks can get so much more energy going.
I would agree. I do think that there's just nothing like a good block. And because you don't see it as often, obviously statistically you see kills at a decent rate in each game. And for blocks, sometimes they come few and far between. So when you do get some of those, I think it's a huge energy builder. I think it gives us a lot of momentum going into that next play. And Madison got fired up, and that's always fun to see her celebrate like that as well.
Saturday it was on to Omaha, and a 4-set win for your team. Different than Thursday. They got off to a very good start, and I felt like that really helped in this match.
Oh, absolutely. And what's interesting is Thursday night we had to kind of scrape by and find a way to win at times. But Saturday I felt like we played pretty well. I mean, we did. I think we followed the game plan pretty well. We had a couple things that kind of happened to us defensively early on in that first set, but I felt like our team adjusted quickly. And just I felt like we were in control, of the match the majority of the time. Even in the second set, I always felt like we were in it. We just couldn't quite put together that run that would put us back into contention at the end. But we did a lot of good things. Offensively, we had some different people step up. Defensively, we were flying around the floor, and I think it's been fun playing Omaha, because I do think you can usually expect a very defensive match. And actually early on in the match, it was very offensive, and we had just talked about, can we set ourselves apart and kind of break that set open by playing a little bit better defense, and I think our team responded really well to that.
You talked about different players stepping up offensively. Two of those that were notable were Evelyn Dietrich had 12 kills, and Amy Adams very efficient in her effort.
Absolutely, and I think even starting on Thursday, we started to get Amy involved a little bit more again. I thought Brooklyn set a really good game on Saturday and allowed, I think, our hitters to maybe have some more open nets at times. And I think because our outsides have gotten so many attempts at this point, I think Amy became a little bit more open at times, and she was efficient. And even there was some misconnections at time between her and Brooklyn, and it's going to happen, at times throughout the year. But Amy just managed when she needed to, and I think she built a lot of trust with Brooklyn. And with that, Brooklyn continued to give her the ball, and she had, again, huge kills. One I can think of right away of her scoring in that right back corner in the fourth set. I mean, that was huge for us, and she had a great match. But defensively too, blocking, she blocked really well. And Evelyn had probably one of her better matches in a few weeks here. And there was just another level to her. She had a little bit of a fire under her, and came up with some really big swings. And I even felt like some of her errors didn't affect her, like they have at times in the past. So I was really happy to see her have the success that she did as well.
On to this week. Technically, there's one match this week, but it starts a very interesting stretch for your team. You've got to enjoy a few days here, because you'll play Friday, and then next week it's Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. So it's going to be a very interesting 2 weeks for your group.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, as always, we're going to go 1-0. We're going to focus on that goal, and I'm excited to be back home in the SDSU and playing. Obviously, South Dakota State should bring out a good crowd, but it's a match that we always look forward to, and I can expect another high-level volleyball match, just like it was when we were up there, and like we saw last year at the Summit League tournament. So looking forward to that one, and then it does, have a little bit of a long stretch there afterwards. But I think we feel like we're in a really good spot physically right now. We've had more of the normal weeks. We've played just the Thursday, Saturday, so good week of practice here, and I think that'll pretty much jumpstart our preparation for those next 4 matches, just in terms of being the best team that we can be on our side of the net.
It's a red out on Friday night when you take on South Dakota State, and you know that they've obviously been very good. They've challenged your team the last couple of times you've played, and you would expect nothing less here when they come here. They'll be looking for a big upset. Oh,
absolutely. I mean, I think at this point in time in the season, everybody is, right? And I think with where we're at right now, again, we feel good. We feel confident with obviously the work that we put in to get to where we are, but we also know that's going to bring everybody's best match, and that's no different looking at Friday. So again, looking forward to that high-level volleyball match. Looking forward to a lot of people in here wearing red, and hoping create a great atmosphere for our players.
Well, have a great week, and good luck on Friday.
Thank you.
All right, the Coyotes take on South Dakota State on Friday evening right here in the Sanford Coyote Sports Center. Get your tickets at goyotes.com or call 605-677-5959. It is a red out on Friday night. That's it for us this week on the Coyote Volleyball Show. For the head coach, Leanne Williamson, I'm John Thayer. Have a great week, and go Yotes.